Introduction. In the grand theater of life, where each of us plays myriad roles professional, parent, partner, friend there exists a role of paramount importance, one that we too often neglect, that of the self nurturer. This role, dear listener, is not one of selfishness or narcissism, but rather a profound recognition of our own worth and the understanding that to truly give our best to the world, we must first tend to our own garden of well being. The self care blueprint you are about to explore is not merely a collection of tips and tricks, but a transformative journey that will challenge your perceptions, expand your awareness, and ultimately lead you to a place of greater harmony and fulfillment. As we embark on this odyssey together, I invite you to open your mind to new possibilities, to question long held beliefs about what it means to care for oneself, and to embrace the profound truth that self care is not selfish. It is, in fact, the foundation upon which a life of purpose and joy is built. Throughout this audiobook, we will delve into the three pillars of holistic self care: the mind, the body, and the soul. These are not separate entities, but interconnected aspects of your being that influence and support one another in a beautiful, intricate dance. By nurturing each of these pillars, you create a stable foundation for personal growth, resilience, and a deep sense of well-being that permeates every aspect of your life. As we progress through each chapter, you will be presented with practical exercises, thought-provoking questions, and actionable strategies that you can implement immediately. These are not mere suggestions, but invitations to actively participate in your own transformation. For it is through conscious action and consistent practice that true change occurs. Remember, dear listener, that the journey of self-care is not a destination to be reached, but a way of life to be embraced. It is a continuous process of growth, reflection, and refinement. There will be challenges along the way, moments of doubt, and perhaps even resistance from within. But I urge you to persevere, for the rewards of this journey are immeasurable. Are you ready to embark on this transformative adventure? Are you prepared to prioritize yourself in a way that you perhaps never have before? The path lies before you, illuminated by the wisdom of those who have walked it before and the innate knowledge that resides within your own being. Take a deep breath, center yourself in this moment, and let us begin. Chapter 1. The Mind, Your Inner Sanctuary. The human mind, with its vast potential and intricate complexities, is both our greatest asset and at times our most formidable challenge. It is the lens through which we perceive the world, the forge where our thoughts and beliefs are shaped, and the wellspring of our emotions and behaviors. To embark on a journey of self-care is to first turn our attention to this inner sanctuary, to cultivate it with the same diligence and care that a master gardener tends to their most prized flower bed. Consider for a moment the state of your mind at this very instant. Is it a place of calm reflection, a tumultuous sea of racing thoughts, or perhaps a battlefield where self-doubt wages war against your aspirations? Whatever its current state, know that you possess the power to shape and refine this mental landscape, to create an inner environment that nurtures growth, creativity, and peace. The first step in caring for the mind is to become aware of its contents. This awareness, often referred to as mindfulness, is not a passive observation, but an active engagement with your thoughts and emotions. It is the practice of becoming the witness to your own mental processes, observing without judgment, and learning to distinguish between the essential and the superfluous. To begin cultivating this awareness, I invite you to engage in a simple yet profound exercise. Find a comfortable position, close your eyes, and for the next few minutes, simply observe the thoughts that arise in your mind. Do not attempt to control or change them, but rather watch them as you might watch clouds drifting across the sky. Notice their nature, their intensity, and how quickly they come and go. As you practice this exercise, you may find yourself surprised by the constant chatter of your mind, the way thoughts seem to arise unbidden and often without logical sequence. This realization is the first step toward mental clarity and self-understanding. For how can we hope to cultivate a garden if we are unaware of the seeds we are planting? The mind, in its natural state, is like a clear blue sky, vast, open, and serene. Our thoughts are the clouds that temporarily obscure this clarity. By developing the habit of mindful observation, we begin to create space between ourselves and our thoughts, recognizing that we are not our thoughts, but the awareness behind them. This distinction is crucial, for it allows us to choose which thoughts we wish to entertain and which we can simply let pass by. It is the difference between being swept away by every passing emotion and standing firm in the eye of the storm, observing with equanimity. As we deepen our practice of mental self-care, we must also address the quality of the thoughts we cultivate. The mind, like any ecosystem, thrives on diversity and balance. A mind filled only with worries and self-criticism is like a garden overrun with weeds. It leaves little room for the flowers of creativity, joy, and self-compassion to bloom. To nurture a healthier mental ecosystem, we must consciously introduce positive elements. This does not mean engaging in toxic positivity or denying the existence of challenges, but rather cultivating a realistic optimism that acknowledges difficulties while maintaining faith in our ability to overcome them. One powerful practice for reshaping your mental landscape is the use of affirmations. These are not mere feel-good statements, but carefully crafted declarations that align with your deepest values and aspirations. When chosen thoughtfully and repeated with conviction, affirmations can rewire neural pathways, creating new patterns of thought and behavior. I invite you now to create your own affirmation, one that speaks to your highest self and the person you are becoming. Begin with the words "I am" and complete the sentence with a quality or state of being you wish to embody. For example, "I am resilient in the face of challenges," or "I am worthy of love and respect." Repeat this affirmation to yourself daily, preferably while looking in a mirror, allowing the words to sink deeply into your consciousness. As you work with affirmations and other tools for mental self-care, remember that the mind, like any muscle, grows stronger with consistent exercise. The practice of directing your thoughts, of choosing your mental focus, is a skill that improves with time and dedication. Be patient with yourself, for the journey of mental cultivation is ongoing, and each small step is a victory worthy of celebration. In the following sections, we will explore additional strategies for mental self-care, including meditation techniques, cognitive reframing, and the power of gratitude. Each of these practices builds upon the foundation of awareness we have begun to establish, creating a mental environment that is conducive to growth, resilience, and inner peace. As we conclude this first chapter, I urge you to reflect on the state of your mental garden. What thoughts and beliefs have you been nurturing, consciously or unconsciously? What weeds of negativity or self-doubt might need to be gently uprooted? And what seeds of potential lie dormant, waiting for the light of your attention to help them flourish? Remember, dear listener, that the mind is not a static entity, but a dynamic, ever-changing landscape. With consistent care and attention, you have the power to transform this inner sanctuary into a place of beauty, strength, and limitless potential. The journey of mental self-care is one of the most profound and rewarding endeavors you can undertake, for in nurturing your mind, you nurture the very essence of who you are and who you are becoming. Chapter 2: The Body, Your Sacred Vessel. As we journey deeper into the realms of self-care, we turn our attention to the physical aspect of our being, the body, that magnificent and complex vessel that carries us through this earthly existence. Too often, we take this incredible machine for granted, pushing it to its limits, neglecting its needs, and forgetting the profound wisdom it holds. Yet, if we are to truly embrace a holistic approach to self-care, we must learn to honor, nurture, and listen to the body with the same reverence we afford to our minds and souls. Consider for a moment the miracle that is your physical form. From the intricate dance of neurons firing in your brain to the rhythmic beating of your heart, from the constant regeneration of cells to the elegant complexity of your immune system, your body is a testament to the wonders of life itself. It is not merely a vehicle for your consciousness, but an integral part of who you are, influencing your thoughts, emotions, and overall well-being in ways both subtle and profound. The first step in caring for this sacred vessel is to cultivate a deep sense of body awareness. This goes beyond merely noting aches and pains. It is about developing a nuanced understanding of your body's signals, rhythms, and needs. Begin by taking a few moments each day to simply scan your body from head to toe, noting sensations without judgment. How does each part feel? Where do you hold tension? Where do you feel ease and flow? As you practice this body scan, you may be surprised by what you discover. Perhaps you'll notice that you habitually clench your jaw or that your shoulders creep up towards your ears when you're stressed. These physical patterns often reflect our mental and emotional states, and by becoming aware of them, we gain valuable insights into our overall well-being. Now, let us delve into the foundational pillars of physical self-care: nutrition, movement, and rest. These three elements form a triangle of vitality, each supporting and enhancing the others in a beautiful symbiosis. Nutrition, dear listener, is not merely about counting calories or following the latest diet trend. It is about nourishing your body with foods that truly support its functions and vitality. Think of your body as a garden. What kind of soil, water, and sunlight does it need to thrive? Just as a gardener carefully selects the right nutrients for each plant, so too must you choose foods that resonate with your unique physiology. I invite you to embark on a journey of mindful eating. The next time you sit down for a meal, engage all your senses. Notice the colors on your plate, inhale the aromas, feel the textures as you chew, and truly savor the flavors. Eat slowly, giving your body time to register fullness. As you do this, ask yourself, how does this food make me feel? Does it energize me or leave me feeling sluggish? By tuning into these subtle cues, you begin to develop an intuitive understanding of what your body truly needs. Movement, the second pillar of physical self-care, is not just about exercise in the conventional sense. It is about honoring your body's innate desire for motion, for expression through physical form. In our sedentary modern world, we often forget that we are built to move, to stretch, to dance, to play. The body thirsts for movement as the mind thirsts for knowledge. I challenge you to reframe your relationship with physical activity. Instead of viewing it as a chore or punishment, see it as a celebration of what your body can do. Explore different forms of movement until you find those that bring you joy. Perhaps it's the graceful flow of yoga, the rhythmic strides of running, the playful energy of dance, or the meditative focus of martial arts. The form matters less than the intention and regularity with which you move. Incorporate movement into your daily life in small, manageable ways. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Stand up and stretch every hour if you have a desk job. Go for a short walk during your lunch break. These small actions, when done consistently, can have a profound impact on your overall well-being. The third pillar, rest, is perhaps the most overlooked in our fast-paced society. Yet, it is during periods of rest and recovery that our bodies perform some of their most crucial work, repairing tissues, consolidating memories, regulating hormones, and restoring energy reserves. To neglect rest is to rob yourself of these essential processes. Sleep, the deepest form of rest, deserves your utmost attention. Create a sacred sleep ritual that signals to your body that it's time to wind down. This might include dimming lights, engaging in gentle stretching, reading a calming book, or practicing meditation. Aim to go to bed and wake up at consistent times, allowing your body to find its natural rhythm. But rest is not limited to sleep alone. It also encompasses moments of stillness and relaxation throughout your day. Practice the art of conscious relaxation. Tense and then release each muscle group, feeling the wave of relaxation flow through your body. Take deep, nourishing breaths, allowing your exhales to be longer than your inhales, activating the parasympathetic nervous system and inducing a state of calm. As we integrate these pillars of physical self-care, nutrition, movement, and rest, we begin to experience a profound shift in our relationship with our bodies. We move from a place of criticism or neglect to one of deep respect and nurturing care. This shift ripples out, affecting not only our physical health, but our mental and emotional well-being as well. Remember, dear listener, that caring for your body is not about achieving perfection or conforming to external standards. It is about honoring the unique vessel that carries you through this life, attuning to its wisdom, and providing it with what it needs to function at its best. Your body is your most constant companion on this journey of life. Treat it with the love, respect, and care it deserves. As we conclude this chapter on physical self-care, I invite you to reflect on your current relationship with your body. How can you bring more mindfulness to your eating habits? What forms of movement bring you joy? How can you create more space for rest and recovery in your life? These are not questions to be answered once and forgotten, but inquiries to revisit regularly as you deepen your practice of physical self-care. In the days to come, I encourage you to implement at least one new practice from each pillar: nutrition, movement, and rest. Perhaps you'll commit to eating one mindful meal a day, incorporating a 10-minute stretch into your morning routine, or establishing a calming bedtime ritual. Start small, but start today, for it is through consistent, loving action that we transform our relationship with our bodies and, by extension, our entire experience of life. Chapter 3: The Soul, Nurturing Your Inner Essence. As we venture into the realm of soul care, we step into a dimension that transcends the tangible and measurable aspects of our being. The soul, that ineffable essence that animates our existence and connects us to something greater than ourselves, is perhaps the most elusive yet vital component of our holistic well-being. It is the wellspring of our deepest values, the source of our most profound insights, and the seat of our capacity for love, compassion, and spiritual growth. But what exactly do we mean when we speak of the soul? In the context of self-care, we are not delving into religious doctrines or metaphysical debates. Rather, we are exploring that part of ourselves that yearns for meaning, connection, and purpose, the aspect of our being that seeks to understand our place in the vast tapestry of existence and to live in alignment with our highest values and aspirations. Caring for the soul is not a task to be approached with the same methodical precision we might apply to physical exercise or mental discipline. The soul thrives on subtlety, on moments of quiet reflection, on experiences that awaken our sense of wonder and awe. It is nourished by beauty, by acts of kindness, by the cultivation of deep and meaningful relationships, and by the pursuit of that which resonates with our innermost truth. To begin our journey of soul care, we must first create space in our lives for introspection and inner listening. In the cacophony of modern life, with its constant distractions and demands for our attention, the quiet voice of the soul is often drowned out. We must learn to cultivate moments of stillness, to turn our gaze inward, and to attune ourselves to the whispers of our deepest self. I invite you now to engage in a practice of inner listening. Find a quiet place where you will not be disturbed. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and take a few deep, centering breaths. As you settle into stillness, pose a question to your inner self, a question that has been weighing on your heart, or perhaps simply ask, "What does my soul need right now?" Then, with patience and openness, listen. The answer may come as a thought, a feeling, an image, or simply a sense of knowing. It may not come immediately, and that's okay. The practice is in the asking and the listening, in creating space for your inner wisdom to emerge. As we deepen our practice of soul care, we must also consider the role of purpose and meaning in our lives. The soul yearns for a sense of significance, for the feeling that our existence matters, and that we are contributing to something greater than ourselves. This does not necessarily mean grand, world-changing endeavors, though it might. Often, it is in the small acts of kindness, in the quiet moments of connection, in the patient nurturing of a child or a garden, that we find our deepest sense of purpose. Reflect for a moment on what brings you a sense of meaning. When do you feel most alive, most connected to something greater than yourself? These moments are signposts, guiding you toward activities and pursuits that nourish your soul. Perhaps you find meaning in creative expression, in acts of service to others, in the pursuit of knowledge, or in the stewardship of nature. Whatever it may be, make space for these soul-nourishing activities in your life, not as luxury or indulgence, but as essential acts of self-care. Another crucial aspect of soul care is the cultivation of gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful alchemist, transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary, scarcity into abundance, and isolation into connection. When we practice gratitude, we open our eyes to the myriad blessings that surround us, shifting our focus from what is lacking to what is present and beautiful in our lives. I encourage you to begin a daily gratitude practice. Each day, take a few moments to acknowledge 3 things for which you are grateful. These can be grand or small, from the majesty of a sunset to the warmth of your morning coffee. The key is to feel the gratitude in your heart, to let it wash over you and infuse your being with a sense of abundance and appreciation. As we nurture our souls, we must also address the shadows, those aspects of ourselves that we often prefer to ignore or suppress. Carl Jung, the renowned psychologist, spoke of the importance of integrating our shadow selves, of acknowledging and embracing all aspects of our being. This integration is essential for soul care, for it is only when we accept ourselves fully, both light and dark, that we can achieve true inner peace and authenticity. To work with your shadow self, begin by acknowledging those parts of yourself that you find difficult to accept. Perhaps it's your anger, your fear, your jealousy, or your perceived weaknesses. Rather than judging these aspects, approach them with curiosity and compassion. Ask yourself what these shadow elements might be trying to teach you. Often, our greatest strengths emerge from the integration of our shadows. Connection is another vital element of soul care. The soul thrives on meaningful relationships, on the feeling of being truly seen and understood by others. In our increasingly digital world, it's easy to confuse connectivity with true connection. Make a conscious effort to cultivate deep, authentic relationships. This might involve vulnerable conversations, shared experiences, or simply being fully present with another person. I invite you to reflect on your relationships. Who are the people with whom you feel most authentically yourself? How can you nurture these connections? Consider reaching out to a friend for a heart-to-heart conversation or planning a shared experience that will deepen your bond. Nature, too, plays a crucial role in soul care. There is something profoundly nourishing about immersing ourselves in the natural world, about feeling our connection to the vast web of life that surrounds us. Whether it's a walk in the forest, time spent by the ocean, or simply tending to a houseplant, regular communion with nature can soothe our souls and remind us of our place in the greater scheme of things. I encourage you to make time for regular encounters with nature. This might be as simple as watching the clouds pass overhead, feeling the grass beneath your feet, or observing the intricate patterns of a leaf. As you do so, allow yourself to feel your connection to the natural world, to experience the sense of belonging and wonder that arises when we recognize our kinship with all living things. Creativity is another powerful avenue for soul care. When we engage in creative pursuits, we tap into the wellspring of our inner essence, allowing our unique voice to find expression in the world. This need not be limited to traditional artistic endeavors. Creativity can be expressed in the way we solve problems, in how we prepare a meal, or in the manner in which we cultivate our relationships. I invite you to explore your creative side, to give yourself permission to play, to experiment, and to express yourself without judgment. Perhaps you'll try your hand at painting, writing, dance, or music, or maybe you'll bring creativity to your work, your home, or your personal style. The form is less important than the act of creative expression itself. As we conclude this chapter on soul care, remember that nurturing your inner essence is not a one-time event, but an ongoing practice. It requires patience, self-compassion, and a willingness to delve into the depths of your being. But the rewards are immeasurable, a life infused with meaning, authenticity, and a profound sense of connection to yourself and the world around you. In the days to come, I encourage you to implement at least one soul-nourishing practice into your daily routine. Perhaps you'll begin each day with a moment of gratitude, set aside time for creative expression, or commit to regular communion with nature. Whatever you choose, approach it not as a task to be completed, but as a gift you give to yourself, a recognition of the sacred nature of your inner being. As you continue on this journey of self-care, remember that the nurturing of mind, body, and soul is not three separate endeavors, but a single, integrated practice of honoring your whole self. Each aspect influences and supports the others, creating a harmonious symphony of well-being that resonates through every facet of your life. In our next chapter, we will explore how to integrate these practices of self-care into your daily life, creating sustainable habits that will support your ongoing growth and well-being. But for now, I invite you to sit for a moment in quiet reflection, allowing the wisdom of your soul to guide you toward your next step on this transformative journey. Chapter 4. Integrating Self-Care, creating sustainable habits. As we stand at the threshold of transformation, armed with the knowledge of how to care for our minds, bodies, and souls, we face perhaps the most crucial challenge of all: how to weave these practices seamlessly into the fabric of our daily lives. For it is not in moments of inspiration or bursts of motivation that true change occurs, but in the consistent, everyday choices that shape our existence. In this chapter, we will explore the art of habit formation, the power of ritual, and the strategies that will help you create a sustainable practice of holistic self-care. Let us begin by acknowledging a fundamental truth: change is not always easy. Our minds are wired to seek comfort in the familiar, even when the familiar no longer serves us. We must approach the process of integrating new habits with patience, self-compassion, and a deep understanding of the mechanisms of behavior change. The first step in creating sustainable self-care habits is to start small. The temptation to overhaul your entire life overnight is seductive, but often leads to burnout and disappointment. Instead, choose one small, manageable practice from each domain, mind, body, and soul, to focus on initially. Perhaps it's 5 minutes of meditation in the morning, a short walk after lunch, and a gratitude practice before bed. The key is to make these habits so small and manageable that they feel almost laughably easy. This approach, often called habit stacking or tiny habits, allows you to build a foundation of success upon which you can gradually expand. Next, consider the concept of habit anchoring. This involves attaching your new habits to existing routines or triggers in your day. For example, you might practice deep breathing while waiting for your morning coffee to brew, do a quick body scan while brushing your teeth, or engage in a moment of mindfulness before starting your car. By linking new habits to established routines, you leverage the power of existing neural pathways, making it easier for the new behaviors to take root. Ritual, too, plays a powerful role in sustaining self-care practices. A ritual is more than a mere habit. It is a practice imbued with meaning and intention. By transforming your self-care activities into rituals, you elevate them from mundane tasks to sacred acts of self-love and nurturing. This shift in perspective can profoundly impact your motivation and commitment to these practices. Consider, for instance, your morning routine. How might you transform it into a ritual of self-care? Perhaps you begin by lighting a candle or diffusing an essential oil that energizes and uplifts you. As you sip your morning beverage, you might engage in a brief meditation or journaling practice, setting intentions for the day ahead. You could conclude with a series of gentle stretches, awakening your body and honoring its need for movement. By approaching these actions with mindfulness and intention, you transform a routine into a ritual, a daily recommitment to your well-being. As you work to integrate self-care practices into your life, it's crucial to remain flexible and adaptable. Life is inherently unpredictable, and there will be days when your carefully crafted routines are disrupted. Rather than viewing these disruptions as failures, see them as opportunities to practice self-compassion and creative problem-solving. How can you adapt your practices to fit changing circumstances? What is the essence of each practice, and how might you honor that essence even when the form must change? One powerful strategy for maintaining flexibility while still prioritizing self-care is to create a menu of practices for each domain: mind, body, and soul. This menu might include a range of options, from quick 5-minute practices to more extended, immersive experiences. On days when time is abundant, you might choose a longer meditation or yoga session. On busier days, you might opt for a brief mindfulness exercise or a few minutes of deep breathing. The key is to have options that allow you to honor your commitment to self-care, regardless of external circumstances. As you embark on this journey of integrating self-care into your daily life, it's essential to track your progress and celebrate your successes, no matter how small. Consider keeping a self-care journal where you can record your daily practices, reflect on their impact, and note any challenges or insights that arise. This journal becomes not only a record of your journey, but a tool for self-discovery and refinement of your practices. Remember, too, the power of community in sustaining new habits. Surround yourself with people who support your commitment to self-care. This might involve joining a meditation group, finding a workout buddy, or participating in online communities focused on personal growth and well-being. Sharing your journey with others not only provides accountability, but also enriches your experience through shared insights and mutual support. As we near the end of this chapter, I invite you to engage in a visioning exercise. Close your eyes and imagine yourself 6 months from now, having successfully integrated these self-care practices into your daily life. How do you feel? How has your life changed? What new possibilities have opened up for you? Hold this vision in your mind and heart, allowing it to inspire and guide you as you move forward. Now, with this vision as your North Star, I encourage you to create a self-care blueprint that is uniquely yours. On a piece of paper or in your journal, outline your ideal daily and weekly self-care routines. Include practices for mind, body, and soul, being sure to strike a balance between aspiration and realism. Remember, this blueprint is not set in stone. It is a living document that will evolve as you do. As we conclude this chapter on integration and sustainable habits, remember that the journey of self-care is ongoing. There is no finish line to cross, no point at which you can declare, "I have arrived." Instead, there is the beautiful, ever-unfolding process of getting to know yourself more deeply, of caring for yourself more fully, and of showing up in the world as your most authentic, vibrant self. In the final chapter of this audiobook, we will explore how the practice of self-care ripples out into the world, influencing your relationships, your work, and your capacity to create positive change in your community and beyond. But for now, I invite you to take a moment to acknowledge how far you've come. You have embarked on a journey of profound self-discovery and self-nurturing. You have opened yourself to new possibilities and committed to honoring your own well-being. This, in itself, is a remarkable act of courage and self-love. As you move forward, cultivating these practices and integrating them into your daily life, remember to be patient and kind with yourself. Change takes time, and the path is not always linear. There will be days of great progress and days that feel like setbacks. Welcome them all as part of the journey, knowing that each experience, whether perceived as positive or negative, offers an opportunity for growth and deeper self-understanding. May your journey of self-care be one of joy, discovery, and profound transformation. May you come to know yourself more fully, to love yourself more deeply, and to live with greater authenticity and purpose. And may the self-care practices you cultivate become a wellspring of strength, resilience, and vitality that nourishes not only you, but all whose lives you touch. Chapter 5. The Ripple Effect. Self-care as a Force for Change. As we arrive at the final chapter of our journey through the self-care blueprint, we stand at a vantage point from which we can see the far-reaching implications of the work we have undertaken. For while the practice of self-care begins with the individual, its effects ripple outward, touching every aspect of our lives and the lives of those around us. In this chapter, we will explore how the cultivation of self-care transforms not only our inner landscape, but also our relationships, our work, and our capacity to effect positive change in the world. Let us begin by considering the profound impact that self-care has on our relationships. When we nurture ourselves, mind, body, and soul, we come to our interactions with others from a place of fullness rather than lack. We are no longer empty vessels seeking to be filled by external validation or approval, but rather we become fountains, overflowing with love, compassion, and authentic presence. Think for a moment about how your relationships might change when you are operating from this place of inner abundance. How might your capacity for empathy and understanding expand? How might your ability to set healthy boundaries and communicate your needs with clarity and compassion improve? When we are grounded in self-care, we bring our best selves to our relationships, creating a foundation for deeper connection, mutual growth, and shared joy. Consider, too, the modeling effect of self-care. As you prioritize your own well-being, you silently give permission to those around you to do the same. Your children, your partner, your friends, and colleagues witness your commitment to self-nurturing and are inspired to examine their own relationships with self-care. In this way, your personal practice becomes a quiet but powerful force for cultural change, challenging the pervasive myth that self-sacrifice is the highest virtue. But the ripple effect of self-care extends far beyond our immediate relationships. It touches every aspect of our professional lives as well. When we are well rested, nourished in body and spirit, and mentally clear, we bring a heightened level of creativity, focus, and resilience to our work. We are better able to navigate challenges, to think innovatively, and to collaborate effectively with others. Moreover, the self-awareness cultivated through our self-care practices enhances our ability to align our work with our deepest values and passions. We become more attuned to our authentic calling, more courageous in pursuing meaningful work, and more capable of leading with vision and integrity. In this way, self-care becomes not just a personal indulgence, but a professional imperative, enabling us to contribute our highest gifts to the world. As we deepen our practice of self-care, we also develop a greater capacity for compassion, both for ourselves and for others. This expanded compassion naturally leads to a desire to contribute positively to our communities and the world at large. We begin to see the interconnectedness of all things, understanding that our individual well-being is inextricably linked to the well-being of the collective. This realization often manifests as a call to service, a desire to extend the benefits of our self-care practice to others. Perhaps you feel inspired to teach meditation to at-risk youth, to volunteer at a community garden, or to advocate for policies that promote mental health and well-being. Whatever form it takes, this impulse to serve is a natural outgrowth of a robust self-care practice, a testament to the truth that when we nurture ourselves, we become more capable of nurturing the world around us. It's important to note, however, that this call to service is not a return to self-sacrifice or burnout. Rather, it is an invitation to find the sweet spot where your deepest joy meets the world's great need. It is about extending your self-care practice outward, recognizing that caring for others and caring for yourself are not mutually exclusive, but mutually reinforcing activities. As we cultivate this balance between self-care and service, we become powerful agents of change in our communities and beyond. We bring a grounded, compassionate presence to social and environmental issues, approaching challenges not from a place of anger or despair, but from a wellspring of love and commitment to the greater good. Consider for a moment the global challenges we face: climate change, social inequality, political divisiveness. How might these issues be transformed if approached by individuals deeply rooted in self-care practices, individuals who bring clarity of mind, emotional resilience, and spiritual groundedness to the table? The practice of self-care, when embraced collectively, has the potential to shift our entire approach to problem-solving and social change. As we near the conclusion of our journey through the self-care blueprint, I invite you to reflect on the ripple effect of your own self-care practice. How has nurturing yourself changed the way you show up in your relationships, in your work, in your community? What possibilities do you see for extending the benefits of your practice to others? Remember, the goal is not to perfect your self-care routine and then turn your attention outward. Rather, it is to recognize that your inner work and your outer work are two sides of the same coin, each informing and enriching the other. As you continue to deepen your self-care practice, remain open to the ways in which it naturally expands your capacity to contribute to the world around you. In closing, I want to acknowledge the courage and commitment it takes to embark on this journey of self-care. In a world that often values productivity over presence, doing over being, your choice to prioritize your well-being is a radical act. It is an affirmation of your inherent worth, a recognition of the sacredness of your life, and a powerful statement about the kind of world you wish to create. As you move forward from this audiobook, carrying with you the practices and insights we've explored, remember that the journey of self-care is ongoing. There will be days when your practice flows effortlessly, and days when it feels like an uphill battle. Welcome them all. Each experience is an opportunity for growth, for deepening your self-understanding, and for recommitting to this path of self-nurturing. Know, too, that you are not alone on this journey. You are part of a growing community of individuals who are choosing to prioritize well-being, who are redefining success to include inner peace and authenticity, who are creating a new paradigm of living that honors the interconnectedness of all things. May your practice of self-care be a source of endless discovery and joy. May it nourish you deeply, enabling you to show up in the world as your most authentic, vibrant self. And may the ripples of your self-care practice extend far and wide, contributing to the healing and transformation of our world. As we conclude the self-care blueprint, I invite you to take a moment of stillness. Place your hand on your heart, take a deep breath, and silently affirm your commitment to this journey of self-care. Feel the potential that resides within you, the potential for growth, for love, for positive change. And know that with each act of self-care, no matter how small, you are nurturing not only yourself, but the entire web of life of which you are an integral part. Thank you for embarking on this journey of self-discovery and self-nurturing. May your path be filled with grace, insight, and transformative power. And may your commitment to self-care ripple out into the world, creating waves of positive change for generations to come. Conclusion: your ongoing journey of self-care. As we come to the end of the self-care blueprint, it's my hope that you feel equipped, inspired, and empowered to embark on your own journey of holistic self-care. We've explored the nurturing of mind, body, and soul, delved into the art of creating sustainable habits, and examined the far-reaching impact of self-care on our lives and the world around us. Remember that this blueprint is not a rigid prescription, but a flexible framework to support your unique path of growth and well-being. Your journey of self-care will be as individual as you are, evolving as you discover what resonates most deeply with your needs and aspirations. As you move forward, I encourage you to approach your practice with curiosity, compassion, and a spirit of experimentation. Celebrate your successes, learn from your challenges, and always remain open to the wisdom that emerges from within. Know that by committing to this path of self-care, you are not only transforming your own life, but contributing to the healing and evolution of our collective consciousness. Your well-being matters, not just for your own sake, but for the sake of all whose lives you touch. May this audiobook serve as a trusted companion on your journey, a source of guidance and inspiration as you navigate the beautiful, complex terrain of self-discovery and self-nurturing. And may your practice of self-care be a wellspring of joy, resilience, and transformative power in your life and in our world. Thank you for sharing in this exploration of the self-care blueprint. May your journey be rich with insight, growth, and profound well-being. Until we meet again, take good care of yourself and through that of our shared world.